it's Danielle Smith, back with Keeping Style in Your Life. Today I wanted to talk about a particular meal. I know a lot of people jump to breakfast for dinner because sometimes it's an easy meal to make. In our house, it isn't always the easiest thing to do because people typically go for eggs, and my kids, being the picky eaters that they are, won't always go for eggs. But what we can do, a staple in our house, you can do for breakfast or when you're doing breakfast for dinner, is French toast. So I wanted to show you the way we make French toast in our house because it is something that we love, and I make it a little bit different. Not crazy, but a little bit different. Let me show you how I do it. I start out with eggs first. It will make you laugh to know that whenever I tell my husband I'm making French toast, he asks for 7 or 8 pieces. He is a hungry jack. So I always have to make at least, I always have to use at least 2 to 3 eggs. So we'll do that, and I will save some for him. How about that? Another thing is to keep a bowl nearby so that you can just dump your shells. Add a little bit of milk. And my super secret ingredients. I dump in about 1/4 teaspoon. I measure by sight of vanilla. And I also sprinkle in some ground cinnamon. This was actually a good way to get my children to develop their palate a little bit when they were little too, because they were developing other flavors. And then we whisk. So for me, one of the big things that I had to learn the hard way is that I have to start out at sort of a medium heat. And I do use butter in this. So if you have trouble with butter, then maybe French toast isn't the best option, or at least not the way that I make it. Once the butter melts, I do actually add a little bit more cinnamon, just so that it will flavor a little bit as we go. And because I prepared this a couple of minutes ago and I don't want the egg to have settled, and I don't want the egg to be too much on the bread, I do whisk again before I dunk my bread. Dunk my bread both sides with my very clean hands. And I always choose a flat pan. I actually have pans that are bigger than this, but I choose a flat pan so that it will toast evenly, at least in theory. And now we wait for a moment. I do continue to add a little bit of butter on the side to make sure that it's toasting. And if I need to, I will tip up and spin the bread around to make sure that it is even. I think one of the fun things about French toast too is that it's an easy one to teach your children how to make. At least they can participate in the whole event with you. So cracking the eggs, pouring the vanilla, adding the milk. And because you are doing it based on your family's tastes, you can add a little more or a little less vanilla. You can add a little more or a little less cinnamon. And that's one of those things that just adds that little bit of extra flavor. So when I do the second set, I will add more butter. I told you I do. There should still be some cinnamon left over, so you're okay. Whisk again. Now, because your pan is warm already, the second set will cook more quickly, so you'll have to keep an eye on it. And I do put the slightest sliver of butter on the ones that we've cooked. While the French toast is cooking, because one of the things that I decorate with or add to, because I want to make sure that in addition to what they're getting with the French toast, I want to make sure my kids are getting some fruit as well. I typically choose bananas or strawberries. So I have some strawberries here that I cut up because I will decorate. And I do this while the French toast is cooking. I'm actually pleased with how it turned out. So now I get to show you guys how we present. And I put a little syrup on there. For both my husband and my kids, you'll laugh that I cut everything up for everybody, but I won't do that for you. Sprinkle of strawberries. And just a touch, because this stuff is so messy and so sweet. Just a sprinkling sugar. Then you get my messy fingers. But there you have it. French toast. A la Danielle. How about that? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm excited being able to share this with you because I've never considered myself a gourmet cook, but this is one of those things that my family does eat. It's okay for breakfast. It's okay for breakfast, for dinner. I'm incorporating something they enjoy and getting some fruit into them too. You can find me on Twitter at DanielleSmithTV, and please comment because I do love to know what you think. And if you ever think there's a recipe or something that you do think I can try, let me know because I'd love to try it out for you.